News from the world! Bulletin 1933. A young buck named Adolf Hitler is appointed Chancellor of Germany, promising great change for the German people. Surely nothing bad can come from this. In entertainment news, audiences are wowed by the audacity of King Kong, perhaps a sign of the darkness hidden within all of us. Bulletin 2001. Young buck George W. Bush signs the Patriot Act into law. Surely nothing bad can come from this. Meanwhile, crowds cheer the height of the animals doing human things film craze as Jack the Chimp 360 ollies into our hearts. One thing we can say for sure, when things look bleak, put a monkey on a screen. We watch King Kong and MVP2 Most Vertical Primate.
Ah, the French champagne.
Can you tell me which members of the Reservoir Dogs you two are currently dressed as?
I'm Mr. Pink.
Sis Blue.
So Miranda hasn't seen Reservoir Dogs.
Secret Nazis.
Yeah.
Secret Nazis.
Classic Spielberg.
Classic Spielberg.
He needs to kill 94 different 65-year-old men over 2.5 years because those men's children are all identical clones of Adolf Hitler.
There's like a bunch of other shit that happens in Driven.
Is there?
Shake it! Shake it!
The schlocky movie from this week may be the schlockiest film we've ever seen on this podcast.
The Citizen Kane of the week is... Oh, Sean, I don't even know why we do the rest of the podcast. We should definitely at some point just release a compilation of Sean's intros.
Yeah.
Because they are the majority of what could be classified as like artistry that comes out of this podcast without question.
They also probably are the majority of like the listeners that we see that don't listen through the entire episode. Like the reason why they don't, probably.
But they're so good. And I will honestly say, Sean, I know I've said this before, but that was without question your best one yet.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. That was good.
There have been some greats though. I have to listen back, but it was definitely up there. Definitely a real hit. And I think it's true. You probably act as a bit of a filter for our listeners. Like it's like either they're in after the intro or they are out. And you know what? That is totally okay with me.
Yeah.
I only want the people who love your intros. If they don't love your intros, I don't want them listening to this podcast. You know?
Yeah. You
Like
heard
everyone
it. You heard
else.
it here.
It's funny though because it's a terrible filter because his intro sets up a totally different podcast than the one that we deliver. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on that note, welcome those that have survived the filter to
The great filtering.
The great filtering to Citizen Kane versus, where we compare a movie that is considered to be more of a classic against a movie that is considered to be more on the schlocky side, and we ask ourselves honestly, which is better? My name is Jack Rennie, and I'm joined by my two friends,
Sean Jacqueline.
and
Daniel Benoit.
are you going to edit sound between that? What was that for?
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think. I was gonna do a monkey
panicked.
sound. I did panic. I was gonna do like a thing, and then it didn't. I
Okay,
did
so
panic.
edit that out of that, copy it, and just slide it into the silence.
Or can you edit in? Can you edit before the podcast when Sean quietly told his cat to shut up? Could you put that in just before you speak?
Oh yeah, it all stays. It all stays.
So yeah, and as you probably caught, hopefully from Sean's fantastic intro, the movies this week are the 1933 classic King Kong. What a classic! Versus, arguably another classic, but somehow it's on the schlocky list here.
You shut your whore mouth, Jack.
MVP2, Most Vertical Primate.
Don't you dare ever call that movie a classic again, you son of a bitch.
It's debatable what that word even means, right?
Yeah,
so
especially
maybe,
this week, I think.
Yeah. And the link being animals named Jack in the movies, is that right?
Yes.
Just is that right?
Ooh, interesting take.
I know, right? Yeah. No, the link is primates.
Yeah.
Is that right, Sean?
Monkeys that do things, I guess. Apes
Like-
that do things.
Skillful apes.
Skillful apes, yeah.
That's
There we
a
go.
link you don't often get in movies.
Would we
Unless-
call King Kong skillful? I guess so. He's a pretty
pretty
badass
skillful.
fighter, and he
Yeah.
climbs
He's like
things
full
really good.
MMA
Yeah.
fighter in this movie.
Yeah,
That's true.
Some of those
That's true.
takedowns.
He had like a hip throw here and there. Nice
He did do a
hook.
single leg takedown earlier in the
He
film.
does do like
He
a
did.
single leg takedown in this movie,
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
he?
It's pretty
Yeah.
impressive, actually.
Yeah, to like the T-Rex or something. And then some BJJ. So, Sean, these were pretty fun to watch. I
Lies.
No, look, I'm not saying
Lies,
they were.
man.
I'm not Dan.
King
The
Kong,
man
maybe.
who made us watch Bucky Larson.
You know what, Sean? You know what? I was
That
thinking
movie-
about how much
That's
you
the most
protested
important
Bucky
movie in
Larson.
Dan's life.
No, it isn't. But I was thinking about how much you protested Bucky Larson the entire time that I was watching MVP, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck Sean so much."
Wow.
That MVP was barely a movie.
Whoa. I mean,
I
yes,
mean,
but
yes,
like
that's true.
Bucky Larson. We're
Oh,
not
how dare
relitigating
you.
Bucky.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll fight about this later.
One thing I'll say, and this isn't a spoiler in any way, I was able to laugh at MVP though with that certain je ne sais quoi that only schlock can bring to the table, where like I would laugh at what they were doing. Like they would do something, and we'll have so many examples to talk about as we go through these movies of things that I would just laugh at the movie.
Likewise with King Kong, there were moments where I was doubled over laughing
Yeah.
because of the choices they made.
Yeah. Yeah. So, without any further ado, Dan, why don't you give us a very unbiased rundown of synopses for these movies?
I actually debated not writing anything for these two, but
All right.
all right, here we go.
Really? I had a bet. Okay, whatever. I'll say it.
Shut up, Jack. Here we go. I hate myself for doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the time has come. The moment you've all been waiting for. The battle for the World Heavyweight Championship. In the red corner, representing the classics. A beast that is forced to fight for his life after a group of greedy white men infiltrate his home island, capture him, and bring him back to North America as the next big sideshow attraction. Coming in at 100 minutes, the 1933 smash hit, King Kong.
Yeah.
And in the blue corner, representing the schlock, an unusually athletic chimp that befriends a young orphan boy and decides to take up skateboarding after being kicked out of his hockey league for biting a player, allegedly. It runs 87 minutes but feels like 3 days. MVP2 Most Vertical Primate.
Yeah. Woo! How can you not laugh at that summary? It's so good.
Perfect.
Friend's an orphan boy.
Yeah.
After getting kicked off his hockey team.
Oh my god.
The Citizen Kane of the week is